What's going on, guys? This is Brain from Advancement Hockey Advising here, and today we'll be talking about NCAA D2 Hockey, what it is, and why we do not talk about it more. Before we dive into the video here though, as always, just a quick reminder to absolutely smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and share the video if you like the content. Also, if at any point throughout the video you want to ask us a question, send us a comment, anything, talk to us about anything, feel free to drop a comment down below or email us at info@ahadvising.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So you've probably wondered, why do we talk so much about NCAA D1 and D3 hockey and not hear about NCAA D2? Does that mean that NCAA D2 doesn't exist in hockey? Well, actually, it does. It does exist in hockey, and it's just not really talked about because it's not really that big of a deal in hockey. In hockey, it's not that important. It does exist and it does have its place, but it's not really as big of a deal in hockey as it is in other sports like soccer, football, basketball, and all these other sports. It's not really that big of a deal. And in a sec, you'll see why when we go throughout this video here. So basically the breakdown of this video here is gonna be a little different than others, but we're just gonna answer some basic questions that people have had and asked us about NCAA D2. And this way, it'll shed some light on everything and it'll help you gain a better understanding of what NCAA D2 is so you can make the best possible decisions moving forward to see, if NCAA D2 is gonna be the right fit for you, if it's not gonna be the right fit for you. All right, so question number one here. Are there NCAA D2 programs? So we kind of just gave this one away a while ago, but there are 7 NCAA D2 programs that exist. And they are Assumption University, Franklin Pierce University, Post University, St. Anselm College, St. Michael's College, Southern New Hampshire University, and Stonehill College. You can see I'm reading off my iPad here because I do not know these programs absolutely by heart. But yes, there are 7 NCAA D2 universities that do exist. All right, so question number 2 here, and this is a pretty common one. If NCAA D2 programs exist, why aren't they really talked about and why aren't they really that big of a deal? Well, the short answer is here that, no one really knows why. There's a few theories about it, but nobody really knows why NCAA D2 didn't really take off in hockey compared to other sports like soccer, football, and so on. So the first theory here, and I think this one's pretty viable here, is that NCAA D3 kind of just overshadows NCAA D2. It's been that way for a long time, and I just think it's been, with the branding and everything, players just, flock to NCAA D3 and don't really give NCAA D2 the time of day just because it's been like that for so long. So that's the first theory here. The second one is that, there aren't enough players to really, make NCAA D2 a thing, right? There aren't enough players that can make, the NCAA D1, NCAA D2, and NCAA D3, all 3 divisions to make them, NCAA D2 more competitive than D3. I don't think this theory is very valid, because you see players in the ACHA programs that are quite strong, in the top ACHA D1 programs and so on. So I don't think this is a great argument. I think it's more the first theory here that it's been NCAA D1 versus D3 for so long and that it's basically, overshadowed NCAA D2. And, I think that's probably what's been going on here. If there is another reason that, some of you may know about that I don't know, feel free to let me know. But, from my understanding, that's probably the biggest reason why NCAA D2 isn't as big of a deal, isn't really talked about. All right, so question number 3 here is, who do NCAA D2 programs compete against? Do they only compete against each other or do they compete against other programs as well? Well, they actually do compete against NCAA D3 programs, so NCAA D2 and NCAA D3 are quite similar, so some of them, will play against NCAA D3 programs, but that being said, the bulk of their games will be played against each other, against the other NCAA D2 programs. And another note here, and this might be a deal breaker for some hockey players, but they only have their conference championship at the end of the year. They can't go compete in the national championship at the NCAA D3 level because they're in a different division, right? So I know for a lot of players, including myself when I was looking at it, it was a bit of a deal breaker for me. So, I opted to go NCAA D3 instead. But, if that's not a big deal for you, NCAA D2 could be a good option for you if you don't really care about just playing amongst each other for the bulk of the games and if you're okay with playing in other NCAA D3 programs sometimes, but that's generally who NCAA D2 programs play against. So question number 4 here is, how strong is NCAA D2 hockey? And what's the overall experience like, right? So we're gonna start with the caliber here. I would say, in general rule of thumb for NCAA D2 programs, the caliber is very comparable to low to mid-end NCAA D3 programs. I would say it's very, very comparable to that, and that's why they play other NCAA D3 programs, because they can usually compete with them. So in terms of caliber, it's not too bad. I would compare it to that. In terms of overall campus experience and the education and everything, obviously it varies by the 7 programs that you look at here. But overall, it's going to be, again, very similar to NCAA D3 programs. You're typically looking at small institutions, small class sizes with a decent education. So I would say in terms of that, it's very comparable. And yeah, you'll see that NCAA D2 overall is very, very comparable to, low to mid-end D3 hockey. Now, question number 2 here is, how much do NCAA D2 programs actually cost? Well, the short answer is here that it's right in between NCAA D1 and NCAA D3 programs, somewhere right in between. And there's a few reasons for that, but the first being is that NCAA D2 programs, like NCAA D1 programs, do offer athletic scholarships. The only difference is that they offer less amount of money than do NCAA D1 programs. NCAA D2 programs offer 13.5 full athletic scholarships per team versus NCAA D1 programs that offer 18 full athletic scholarships per team. So they have more money to play with at the NCAA D1 level. Also, too, here's another fun fact, is that at the NCAA D2 level, there's more players per team usually, the average being 32. NCAA D1, I would say it's less than this. If I remember correctly, it's 26 or 27, the average per team. So that means there's less scholarship money to go around for the NCAA D2 guys on the bigger team, right? But that being said, even though there's less athletic scholarship money, like NCAA D1 and NCAA D3 programs, they can also offer academic scholarships as well as financial aid scholarships. So that's still on the table too. So because they can offer these things and even offer some athletic scholarship money, it's less than D1, but they can still offer that athletic scholarship money. They're still able to, cover the cost of a lot of their players, and make it affordable for them. So I would say because of all these factors here, it falls in between NCAA D1 and NCAA D3. And because of all these factors, players generally pay, and this is very general again, somewhere between completely nothing between all the different scholarships they get, so 0 per year, all the way up to about 20,000 per year. Somewhere along the lines, that's the average. It's a big average because there's a lot of different types of scholarships and it really depends on your unique situation. But altogether, that's how much you're looking at for an NCAA D2 cost overall. And the last question here, question number 6, is how do I know if NCAA D2 hockey is right for me? Well, overall, I would say, if you're planning on getting a similar experience as NCAA D3, right? And you have NCAA D2 programs that really, really want you, that's usually a big criteria for picking a program. Then I would say, considering NCAA D2 is a good idea. If other factors like costs, quality of education, not going to the national championships, if things like that all kind of make sense to you, then NCAA D2 is an option worth pursuing, but obviously it's individual to everyone. And you really got to look at all these other questions that we answered, as well as do your own research before you make a decision like this. All right, so let's do a quick recap of the main message of this video here. And that is, although NCAA D2 hockey does exist, it's not really all that relevant in hockey. And it basically, resembles NCAA D3 hockey. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video and you haven't already, feel free to absolutely smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and share the video. Also, if throughout this video, you had any questions or comments about anything, feel free to drop a comment down below or email us at info@ahadvising.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Also, if you want to check out, our Facebook, Instagram, website, LinkedIn, newsletter, whatever it is, there's a link down in the description below that you can click and it's going to give you nice access to all of it. And that is it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video and we'll catch you on that next one.